trees here have been untouched for more than 50 years. No wind has rustled their leaves or stirred them from their slumber. My obsession with the paranormal has taken me to some pretty terrifying places, but none as unnerving as this one. This is the story of the last people to ever enter the village of Acheron. For over half a century, this forest has stood silent, hiding its secrets in plain sight. It's rumored that somewhere deep within these woods lies the cursed village of Acheron. The air grew heavy, thick with the scent of decaying leaves and the sound of our own breathing. Just then, we started to hear it, a low, guttural growl that seemed to emanate from the forest floor itself. Then suddenly, our worst fears were confirmed. The ground gave way beneath our feet, revealing a pit filled with bones, human bones. Legend says that all those who enter the forest will hear the screams of those trapped within. Vines crept up its walls, mirroring the gnarled fingers of a corpse reaching for the sky. Strange symbols were carved into its surface. Their meaning lost to time, yet their sinister presence palpable. Each disappearance was marked by the same chilling harbinger. The unsettling feeling of ground shifting beneath their feet. The trees twisted and turned, their branches reaching out like grasping claws. The growl grew louder, more menacing, a prelude to the horror that awaited me. I knew I had to escape, to break free from this nightmare before it consumed me too. As I reached out to touch them, a new wave of terror washed over me. They were warm, unnaturally so. They were human, or at least they once were. Their humanity devoured by the very famine that had driven them to such extremes. The windows were vacant sockets staring blindly into the abyss. Gasping for breath, I collapsed to my knees, the weight of what I had witnessed crushing me. I had seen the truth behind the legend, the pain, the suffering, the despair that had driven these people to unthinkable acts. I fell back, my heart pounding against my ribs, threatening to burst from my chest. A fleeting glimpse of a shadowy figure disappearing into the underbrush. Was I losing my mind, or was I being hunted? The line between reality and nightmare blurred. I understood their pain, their desperation, their humanity. In that realization, I broke the curse, not with a weapon, but with compassion. The forest became my prison, its suffocating embrace a constant reminder of my impending doom. As we approached, the growl grew louder, intensifying into a deafening roar that shook the very foundations of our being. Some say the only way out is to kill the creature at the heart of the woods. But if you do, you become the monster. My name is Leo, and I'm a documentary filmmaker. Panic surged through me as I realized I was alone in this nightmare. The forest, once merely menacing, now felt alive, pulsating with unseen horrors. Every shadow seemed to writhe with malevolent intent, every rustle of leaves a whispered threat. Deep in the Romanian wilderness, nestled between snow-capped mountains and shrouded in mystery, the village of Acheron once thrived. That was until 1943, when an unforgiving famine swept across the land, reducing the once vibrant community to a shell of its former self. Now, more than 8 decades later, all that remains of the village are crumbling stone houses and twisted chimney stacks poking through the undergrowth like skeletal fingers. It's as if the very essence of the village has been devoured by the earth itself, leaving behind nothing but haunting remnants of what once was. Faced with starvation, the villagers turned to the most horrifying of solutions, cannibalism. I wanted to experience it. To truly understand what happened here, you have to feel it for yourself. So I assembled a small crew and set out into the forest armed with nothing but our wits and our cameras. It's said that desperation drove them to such extreme measures that even the church bells fell silent, condemning their actions. The villagers were consumed by their own darkness, lost in a nightmare from which there was no escape. Over the years, whispers of their horrifying deeds echoed through the ages, giving rise to a legend so terrifying that it continues. to chill the hearts of those who dared to speak their name. But I wasn't here to just tell their story. As we ventured deeper into the woods, the towering trees seemed to close in around us, forming a canopy that blocked out the sunlight and plunged us into an eerie darkness. Then, through the trees, we saw it, a dilapidated structure that looked like a house, or at least it once had. And then, as if in response to our intrusion, a guttural scream tore through the silence, echoing the pain and torment of countless souls trapped within this cursed village. In the ensuing chaos, I found myself separated from my crew. I stumbled upon a clearing where a crude altar had been constructed from the same stones that lined the pit. Then from the corner of my eye, I saw movement. One by one, my crew vanished, their fates unknown, their voices forever silenced. But as I ran, the forest seemed to mock my futile attempts at escape. Then I saw it again, the shadowy figure, its eyes burning with an eerie glow. It lunged towards me, revealing its true form. And in that moment of terror, I understood. These weren't mindless creatures driven by hunger. With newfound determination, I pushed past my fear and stumbled out of the forest. I survived, not because I was stronger, braver, or luckier, but because I understood. Sometimes monsters are made, not born. And the scariest truths are the ones we refuse to see.